Hello, Steve Arts 89. Well, it's another Valentine's Day, and I'm doing my usual Valentine's tradition, which is watching an assortment of Valentine's horror-themed films, like Valentine, the film with David Boreanaz, and Valentine's Day, the original 1980, I think it was 1980 film about the guys who get stuck in the mine and the town that doesn't have Valentine's Day for like decades, and they finally start doing it again, and then the killer comes back, and then the remake of my Bloody Valentine, not Valentine's Day. And there's a regular Valentine's Day film, but it's a conventional like romantic comedy one that I was confusing with that was done recently. But yeah, I don't watch that. I usually watch the horror movies, and it makes me feel better because I'm single. I've been alone since the you know what. And even when I was dating, I don't think I ever had a date or was dating someone through like the Valentine's Day sort of periods. I never got to celebrate Valentine's Day with someone. I was in a relationship with someone for 2.5 years, but they never celebrated Valentine's Day. So I've never really done the Valentine's thing as a romantic thing. I've always just done it as a bitter, hateful, watching people die, in movies on Valentine's Day thing. So that's my sort of bitter, resentful. I hate that all those romantic people buying flowers and chocolates and being all Valentine's Day-y. Just despite them, I just watch horror movies where people die. It makes me feel better about being alone. So this is my annual tradition, but I've started also doing a little bit of research into some of the crimes and things that happen during not New Year's. I think New Year's is one of the busiest times for random crimes happening to people, but Valentine's Day is another one. There's a lot of things that have happened on Valentine's Day, just like Halloween, all these sort of holidays, all these sort of specific sort of celebration sort of event sort of things like Christmas, Halloween, New Year's. They all sort of have a lot of stories that have happened around them of deaths and murders and stuff like that. So I've been having fun looking at that the last couple of years, and people like Bailey Sarian doing videos on like the history of Halloween and that, and its dark legacy and stuff like that. It's all sort of interesting, and that's how I spend my Valentine's Day. So I do acknowledge Valentine's Day, but I acknowledge it by celebrating the horror movies and watching people die, basically. But how do you celebrate Valentine's Day? Do you? A lot of people don't. I mean, I know a lot of people in relationships who don't do something special for it, and I always was sort of bitter and annoyed at them. Like, why? Okay, you've got a person in your life. It's Valentine's Day. Why wouldn't you do something to celebrate that? And they're like, well, you should do something every day. It's just another day. I'm like, no, it's not. It's Valentine's Day. So, if I did have a relationship, I probably would celebrate it and actually, treat it like something other than, a bitter, resentful thing. But, that's me. I'm bitter and twisted, But, I do love the films, though. I do look forward to watching them every year. I mean, I love the original one because of the feeling of the community coming together, and that up until once I get down into the mine for the last section of the film, it sort of goes downhill. Then it's kind of boring then, but the first main section of the film is really good. And the David Boreanaz film is just one I'm just so used to watching it every year. It's just a tradition, and I love some of the performances. You Be My Mate, Kate. That's good. And the My Bloody Valentine remake with Jensen Ackles, or whatever his name is, from Supernatural. That's fun because I've always liked him. And the guy from Dawson's Creek, the guy who played the gay character in that. So they're fun. But that's it. So I have my little tradition. I sort of have my horror or movie-based traditions for holidays and events, because I don't actually have a family or any people in my life anymore, particularly since the you-know-what. So I have to sort of find my own sort of film-based traditions and celebrations, and I have my Valentine's Day one. But I wish there were more Valentine's Day movies, like Valentine's Day horror movies. There was one, I think it was called Cupid, and it was about a guy who was stalking a woman around Valentine's Day. It wasn't really about Valentine's Day, but it sort of danced around it, and I always sort of wanted to watch that, but I lost it. I know I bought it on DVD, and I watched it like for a year or two, and then I can't find it. I don't have a digital copy of it that I can find, and I don't know where the disc is. So they had the guy from American Beauty, the guy from that, and he's kind of creepy. So he did really well in a horror movie because you couldn't tell, was he evil, was he stalking this person, or was it just sort of coincidence, or what was happening. It wasn't a basic slasher or anything. It was a little bit more complicated than that. But I haven't seen that for years, so I can't do a proper review for it. But I've been talking for 5 minutes. I need to stop talking. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you do for Valentine's Day. I just find a way to channel my bitterness and loneliness into, horror movies, and, the tradition of watching certain horror movies, and enjoying these, people chasing, love and trying to celebrate Valentine's Day, dying horrible, miserable deaths. I'm going to go. Bye.